Chances are you've used Kotlin today and you probably didn't even realize it. It's this hidden engine humming away inside millions of the apps on your phone. Its story is really about a huge shift in how we build software today. So let's pull back the curtain and see what Kotlin is all about and why it's quietly taking over the world.
Now, this isn't just some up-and-coming language. Back in 2019, Google made a massive announcement. They officially gave Kotlin their stamp of approval for Android, which is, only the biggest mobile platform on the planet. That one statement was a huge signal to the entire industry that the future of app development was changing, and fast.
It's a language that was built from the ground up to be practical, to be safe, and to be powerful. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it is, where it came from, and why it has become so unbelievably important.
So where did this all start? To really get a feel for Kotlin's impact, we have to begin in its undisputed kingdom, the world of Android.
This number really says it all. Over 70% of the top 1,000 apps on the Play Store are using Kotlin. This is not a niche player, it's the dominant force. The apps you rely on every single day, think Google Maps, social media, you name it, they're increasingly built on this language.
Okay, so what is this thing, technically speaking? Well, Kotlin was created by a tool company called JetBrains. It's what's known as a statically typed language, which is just a fancy way of saying it checks for errors before you run the app, making everything much more reliable. But the real genius move? They designed it to work perfectly with all the old Java code that was already out there. That decision was absolutely key to its success.
And its rise was just meteoric. Look at this timeline. It's unveiled in 2011, gets its first stable version in 2016. Just 1 year later, Google is backing it, and by 2019, it's the official preferred language for all of Android. That is an incredibly fast journey from a brand new project to the top of the industry.
So why did it catch on so fast? What's the secret sauce? Well, it really comes down to 3 core ideas that solve some major headaches that developers have had for years.
First off, it's just so much more concise. This slide shows it perfectly. With a language like Java, you often have to write a ton of repetitive code just to set things up. Kotlin just cuts right through all that noise, often doing the exact same thing in a single line. And here's why that matters. Less code doesn't just mean you type less. It means there are fewer places for bugs to hide.
Second, it's safe. Kotlin directly attacks one of the most annoying and common reasons that apps crash, something famously called the billion-dollar mistake. Basically, its system makes developers think about what happens when a piece of data might be missing. We've all had an app just suddenly close on us, right? Well, this feature prevents a huge number of those crashes from ever happening.
And third, and this might be the most brilliant move of all, it works seamlessly with Java. Think about it. If you're a company with a massive existing app, you can't just throw it all away and start from scratch. Kotlin let them start adding new features in this new, better language without having to rewrite everything. It was a no-brainer, a low-risk way to modernize.
But Kotlin's story doesn't stop with Android. Not even close. The vision was always much, much bigger. It was about fulfilling that old programming dream of write once, run anywhere.
For years, if you wanted your app on both iPhones and Android phones, it was a huge pain. You basically had to build the app twice. 2 teams, 2 different sets of code. It was slow, it was expensive, it was a mess.
Kotlin Multiplatform just flips that whole idea on its head. It lets developers write the core brain of their app, all the important stuff, just one time. They can then share that code and just build a specific user interface for each phone, so the app feels native and perfect on both an iPhone and an Android.
And the scope here is just staggering. We're not just talking about phones. You can share that same core logic across Windows, macOS, Linux, even for websites and the servers that power the internet. That old dream of write once, run anywhere is getting closer and closer to being a reality.
And this isn't just a cool theory. Major brands are already all over it. McDonald's is using it for their global app. Forbes can push new features to both iOS and Android at the exact same time. That is a massive advantage in today's fast-moving world.
You see, a programming language is never just about the syntax and the features. It's about the entire world built around it, the tools, the support, the community. And Kotlin's ecosystem is incredibly strong.
The whole toolkit is just robust. You've got amazing frameworks like Spring for building services, you've got world-class developer tools like IntelliJ IDEA, and cutting-edge UI libraries like Jetpack Compose. This isn't some quirky, experimental language. It's a full-blown professional environment ready for serious work.
And this chart really tells a fascinating story. Of course, mobile is still number one, that's where it got its start, but look how close web backend development is. Almost half of all Kotlin developers are using it to build the servers and services that power the internet. That just shows you how versatile it's become.
And we're not talking about small startups here. Companies like AWS, Netflix, and Uber are trusting Kotlin to run their most critical systems. That's a huge vote of confidence in its performance, its reliability, and the sheer productivity it gives to their teams.
So, what's next? For a language that's already conquered mobile and is making huge waves on the server, where do you go from there? Well, the answer's pretty obvious if you've been following tech lately. AI. The creators of Kotlin are not resting on their laurels. They are weaving AI directly into the fabric of development, with smart tools that can help write code, find bugs, and make developers way more efficient.
And they're pushing even further with new things like Koog. This is a framework for building your own powerful AI agents. Think of them like little smart assistants that can handle complex jobs for you, all written in Kotlin. The really cool part is that it can run locally on your device, which puts Kotlin right at the center of the next wave of smart software.
So when you step back, you see this incredible journey, from a safer way to build Android apps to a unified way to build for all our devices, and now a platform for building AI. Kotlin's entire story has been about solving real-world problems in a practical, forward-thinking way. And that really leaves you with a big question. Is this the language that's going to become the default for our multi-device future?